So today's topic, just so everybody is aware, we're going to be talking about partnerships and support teams, and who's most important to have in your circles. I usually just start with an intro, and then we start with a question and kind of just round circle. But everybody's free to jump in at any time and make any comment or add to whatever it is that we're saying. Welcome everyone. This is the Reverend CEO, aka Cynthia Pettion, wife, mother, business coach, mentor, and evangelist. And I want to thank you for joining us today. So with us this morning, we have Patricia Thomas, also known as Pat Thomas, beautiful wife of Mr. Vincent Thomas here. And back with us today is Mr. Pettion, Mr. Eddie Pettion, my husband and business partner as well. So welcome back with us this morning. Thank you for joining us again today. Today's topic, guys, we wanted to talk about in this segment the importance of support, partnership, who we have in our circles and who maybe we shouldn't have in our circles. When you are on a path of both faith and business, I think it's extremely important to be mindful of who it is that we have encouraging us, supporting us, acting as partners. Pat, thank you for joining us this morning. I'm going to start with you, if you don't mind. If you can just give us a little bit of background, how you and Vincent in particular work together, because I know you guys, I met you guys a few years ago, and we've been friends and working together ever since. You guys have a very special and dynamic relationship, I think, because you are not only married, but you also work businesses together. And if you can just maybe start off with maybe how you guys met or how long you've been together or working together, just so we learn a little bit about you guys.
Well, Vincent and I have been together for almost 18 years now. And, we didn't grow up together. We were older when we got married or what have you. So, we were pretty much established in our own right. We both had jobs and, we did the whole job routine. He worked, I worked. And then the economy kind of flipped on us back, I think maybe it was 2008 or so. I had to hold things down while he reestablished what he needed to do as far as employment was concerned. And while he was at home, he started looking into businesses. I'm like, well, what are you doing? He was like, oh, I'm looking into this, I'm looking into that. And I'm like, okay, and it just moved along. And then when he finally decided to share with me after he had done all his research and everything, I'm like, okay, let's see if we can work things out. I saw that and I learned through the years that the way of life is to own your own, especially as far as business is concerned, and to be accountable to yourself, and that. So we had that like-mindedness, and we realized that nobody's going to give you anything. You have to go out and get it yourself, and try to do what you can to establish your own wealth. The bottom line is we're partners. Pretty much everything he wants to do, I always support it. At first, I don't always see the vision, so I just sit back and relax on the edge to see if it's going to work out. And, but I always support him, and whatever he wants, whatever, if I want to do, he supports me as well, because we just have to be a team at this. And it's working for us.
I love what you just said, relaxing on the edge. I think That needs to be like coin phrase, relaxing on the edge. So,
There you go.
Boris, I know your wife isn't here with us today, but I often see her walking around in the background when we're doing our discussions and our meetings and stuff like that. Do you want to share a little information about you guys and how you work and whether or not she does participate in your businesses or how that works out for you?
Yes. I got married 3 years ago again with Karina Cuentas. She's an accountant. She's a master degree in personal development. And what I do or what I think always is to consult with somebody who can think different than me. And she is that kind of woman always. And then when I started business by myself 5 years ago, and then I start thinking I never more I'm gonna go to work for somebody. What I said is I have to do by myself my own business because I have the capacity. Even I get my degree, I have to do something by myself. What I did even when I get my doctorate. But when I knew Karina, I said, she is the person who, she was administrating a college here in Peru. And when I talked to her, I said, listen, I'm gonna do this business. And then she said, look for it. And then when you have all the information, we can talk. Not always I say yes, what she says, but we talk each other and we sit down here. She has her chair close to my chair, and then we can talk together. When we are partners always, and then which is good for me because when sometimes I'm so busy in my office, I can see she put here water or juice or sandwich, and she's always attending whatever I need, which is really, really important for me because I feel supported for her. You know, she's joined me everything what I do, which is really a blessing for me from God.
You know, we've been together around the same time as Pat and Vincent, 18 years. Both said something, the same thing, but just different context. Partners, team. And it's important to have good partners and good teammates when you are in business. And even of faith, I don't think you necessarily have to be the same faith as somebody else that you're with or married to, but I think it's important to share a lot of the same values or outlook in life because it can be very disruptive otherwise, right? What do you think?
No, absolutely. It's really been an amazing journey for her to be part of my life. That I would say. I say about 18 years ago, I was fresh out of the military, trying to transition to the civilian life. When I met her, she was more stable than I, a lot more. You know, she already had her career going. She had a lot of experience, more life experience than I had. But she basically not only complete me at that moment, but I remember when we first met, a lot of people looked at me and say, you guys probably not even gonna last for 3 months. Because they're like, she's gonna, how they say, you're gonna chew me.
I'm gonna eat you up.
She's gonna eat me up and chew me and spit me out.
Yeah, something like that.
But you know what, I love challenges. So that alone motivated me, you know, to do more. But one thing I want to tell you guys is that you always want to find somebody who's going to build with you and not taking from you, but build with you. Throughout the whole thing, what's important is that it's the amount of support that you receive from your partner. All right. You can try to do everything on your own, but doesn't mean that you can accomplish everything on your own. But that emotional support is the key to success.
If you have a good partnership, it makes the burden easier to carry, that you have somebody that can help balance that along with you. Vincent, what are your thoughts on running businesses alone and trying to start up traditional businesses on your own versus having a partnership?
Trying to do it on your own is really hard. You're carrying everything, the burden and all this on your own, and it's frustrating. But once you involve the other partner, you can get feedback from her or him, and it makes things much easier. I had to, like many people, search for something else to come into the house. It was hard, and I didn't let her know, I guess because of, I guess you would call it man pride, or that Marine in me saying, I can do it myself, I can do it myself. It didn't work out that way. It was very hard, but I didn't give up. That is one thing. I didn't give up. I continued to search. She came supportive. Once you allow her or him into your life and let you both make the decisions, then everything starts to run smooth, like a well-oiled machine.
And I just want to say that something, I would pray about things to get better, this and that and the other. One day, I just said, well, let's go to church. But I just feel that delving into prayer and faith was what helped us get through those trying times. And it gave off enough energy for Vincent to have that strength to pursue the businesses and get into what he needed to get into to get over that hump. So faith was a big part of us getting where we are today.
But you said something very important earlier, Pat, that I wanted to readdress, and that is accountability and having to be accountable for yourself. And I think it all, really starts there, and putting our faith where people wouldn't traditionally put it. People want to put it in someone else. They want to put it in the market. They want to put it in a job. But ultimately, if your faith is on God, then as you said or indicated, that it takes some of that stress and heaviness off of you so that you can feel lighter and be able to proceed with your work. So I believe wholeheartedly in partnerships. I think our first partnership has to be with God and with ourselves before it can be with anyone else. And then you have to be very mindful about who it is that you start to let into those circles so that they're not being toxic and destroying either your faith or your vision, because not everybody's here with the same vision or the same mission, right, guys? Mm-hmm. Everybody's here to do something special and spectacular. We're not here to be mediocre. Let's talk about removing toxic people from our lives. I know you and I, Eddie, in the beginning stages in particular, I'm somebody, for some reason, I've always been very discerning. Somebody can pretty much walk in the door and I'll be like, yes, like, don't like, and everybody was just like, oh, she's just mean. But for some reason, just some people, they just didn't mesh well with my aura or my spirit. So Eddie's somebody who's always been very social and friendly, and I know we bump heads a lot in the beginning of our relationship as far as who to have around, and it came across as just a bossy wife telling you not to hang out with your friends.
No, absolutely. And like Cynthia's saying, you do have to be careful who you surround yourself with. You don't have to have hate for them. You don't have to be wish them ill. You don't have to be evil about it. You just have to know that you choose to spend less time around these toxic people. And they can be family, they can be friends, they can be business partners.
This is our mission and what drew us together as a team to be here together. Our love of God, our love of business and people, and wanting to help people.
If you have a focus, if you have a goal very defined, and then you continue, or you can start this business. If not, you're gonna lose time. You have to be really sincere by yourself if you want to start this business, because this business is gonna make you really happy, or gonna be you very worried about your life. You have to be very careful what you're gonna do.
I think one of the caveats also, or downfalls, when you have an entrepreneur-like mindset or you're in these type of businesses, that it's difficult for people to understand, is that failure comes with everything. Mm-hmm. Right? Failure comes with success. It comes with building relationships. It comes with building knowledge. It comes with building a business. Money's like a stream. There are times where the stream is flowing real rough and it's overabundant and it's flowing over. And then there's times where it dries out a little bit. All right. But it's always going to flow. Making money is very similar to riding a bike or learning how to swim. It's one of those things that once you know how to do it, you're always going to know how to do it. I don't worry about money. All right. The Bible doesn't teach us to worry about money. They tell you if God can take care of the birds in the skies and the flowers in the grass, you can most certainly be well taken care of. And I think it's important for people to take the emphasis over what they think they're lacking and just understand what it is that they have, and that there's always an ability to have abundance and have more. So if you have the ability to produce income, you'll always have the ability to produce income. And when you're with people in business and a business fails, for example, people tend to get upset and then they don't want to reinvest, or they don't want to build a new one. They don't want to try again. And that's where having the right minded people around you becomes so important. Having the wrong people around you can kill those dreams.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden it's something you could have been successful in and something you could have built bigger than anyone could have imagined. All of a sudden the vision gets killed. I don't think
Right.
anybody goes into business or goes into faith or goes into anything with the intention of it failing and dropping the idea altogether. I think this is the part of it that they need to kind of learn to adopt, and not to worry and not to fear not having income. We all went through the 2008 disaster. There can't be this overwhelming fear that comes around with it.
Sometimes, how many times you run into people that say, oh, man, I used to be so successful. But now they're not doing anything with their life. They keep talking, going back in the past, how great they used to do. If you've done it before, you should be able to do it better this time.
Do it again.
Just keep doing it again.
The thing is, when you have a couple, they want to come in or whatever, they have to have a strong relationship and good communication between one another. That's the main thing. When it comes to finances, it's not always my money, your money. When you're a couple or when you're married, it's really our money. What's going to happen with what we do to take care of our household? They're not there yet, or they don't deal with one another like that. I can see where a failed venture would cause a problem. But if they were communicating and had a good relationship when it came to money, then if something happens, then they could recover. Because when you fall down, you have to get up. You have to get up. You don't stay down.
Yes, talking about communication, the bad thing in communication, especially with the marriage, is when you propose something and your wife or your husband doesn't agree with that. And then he said, well, if you want, you do it. But, that bad sometimes is really hard to deal with at home. If there is something which is not good, I'm going to support you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be with you. I'm not agree, but I know your impetus. I know you want to do this. I can see you're encouraged. I think you are focused. I like that. Do it. But if something goes wrong, just tell me. I'm going to help you. That's a good communication, because the successful is not what you get at the end of the path. The successful is what you get in the next second of your life.
Wow. Sometimes people don't realize, whether it's our business partners or our life partners, how the lack of energy or lack of support that they're providing is actually inadvertently somehow causing our failure.
Directly.
Sometimes I wish people just understood, yes, we have the support of God, we have our own will to do things, and we have to have our own strength and accountability, but we don't live secluded. We don't live in a world or an island that doesn't have other people. People were put on this earth together, and there were marriages and partnerships since before time, okay, for a reason. And I don't know that when you're with somebody and they're trying to do something and you don't necessarily agree with it, how, you don't necessarily have to agree with everything you guys do together, but having that lack of support to say, do it on your own and then show it to me when you're successful, for example, they don't always understand how your unwillingness to just even encourage me a little is somehow having the total opposite and reverse effect. and it's taking away from something that could be powerful.
You know what? Sometimes you don't have to say too much. You just have to go and say, I'm going to be with you. That's all.
There's a lot of things that I've done, and I failed at it. But at the same time, she's supportive, and it sticks in my head. And I know, I guess, a lot of other couples, not just only myself and us, but I always say that if it took you 10 years to become a millionaire, was it worth it? And it works out. And having faith in the Lord and thanking Him each every day, even for the failure, you know, because with the failures comes success.
Is support. Support equals strength, which is Philippians 4:13 that says, I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. And when you think, what I pick out of that verse is, who strengthens me? You know, yes, all God is bigger than everyone here. However, if you do have that partner that strengthens you, you guys together can do everything.
I treat faith very much the way I do business. It's something that I want to share with everyone. And if you're willing to listen, we can have a conversation. And if
Yes.
you're not, come back to me when you're open about it, because that's when the ideas start to flow, you know, being the odd child out. Keep an eye out for that odd person out. You don't want to follow the masses.
Yep. And me and my wife is one thing that we are very different when it comes to how we do things, but we have the same goal and then the same end goal and the same vision.
It's important, you know, to have well-rounded relationships. And it's the ability to be able to form these relationships, to be stronger, like, you know, Boris said, or to have great communication, like Pat said, and to bring all these things together so that together we build powerhouses. What did I tell you yesterday, Vincent, when we were talking? We're what? We're lions.
Yes.
And lions don't make excuses. Lions don't explain to people why they are kings at what they do. They just do it. And they keep what? They keep a pride around themselves, what they call a pride, which is all the lionesses and everything that back them up. They don't keep other lions or lionesses around them that are looking to destroy them. But I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I want to thank Mr. Pettyon for being our guest here again today. Miss Patricia, the beautiful Pat Thomas, thank you for joining us as well today. Your input was greatly appreciated. We'd love to have you back some other time. I just want to wish everybody an incredibly blessed week, and know that we are here to support everybody and share our mission, and hope that you join us next time on Faith in Business.